What can be made of ICASA's ruling that the SABC must withdraw the ban on violent protests? And why is the South African Communist Party saying the entire SABC board should step down? Why is the Communications Workers Union accusing other media institutions of hypocrisy? And what is the SACP and CWU's position on the suspended SABC journalists? What time is it? It's question time. Welcome to the show. My name is Motsoeneng. The South African Broadcasting Corporation, that's the SABC, has been in the news for quite a while now. Today, ICASA ordered the SABC to withdraw its decision not to broadcast visuals of violent protests, a decision which the SABC is challenging. The ruling comes in the wake of a number of protests for and against the SABC leadership at its Auckland Park building. Meanwhile, the latest developments at the public broadcaster has pitted the South African Communist Party and the Communications Workers Union against each other, amongst others. While the SACP has called for the SABC board to step down, the Communications Workers Union is saying the SABC decisions are being targeted. While such voices are absent when it comes to what they call foreign and white monopoly capital-owned media institutions, we are live. And therefore, you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial is 089-110-4210. Our Twitter handle at QuestionTime24. My guest today, Alex Mashilo, is the spokesperson of the South African Communist Party, whereas Aubrey Shabalala is also the General Secretary at the Communications Workers Union. Gentlemen, welcome to the show, and we really appreciate it. Is it your birthday today?
It is. Good evening.
Thank you, and
happy birthday to you.
Thanks.
Wow. Here we go. I'm sure you were following developments earlier, even today. There was a press briefing here at the SABC. What is your take in as far as the state of affairs at the SABC is concerned?
Well, one will start by saying, I think when you're referring to developments, you're referring to what happened today, the ruling of ICASA, and what SABC have said subsequently to that. I think it's one area that will say that there was a ruling that taken by ICASA. Welcome, the SABC is going to challenge that. I think the matter is now sub judice, if you may quote it. Okay. We agree with that process, it must unfold. Okay. But as Communication Workers Union, we are a union inside SABC. We did not have to scream previously to say there's something happening at SABC without interacting with SABC fact, establish fact, and be able to comment thereafter. I think there were a number of people who were accusing us for being quiet, but at that point in time, we're verifying facts. And one thing that we have established per se is that there was no necessary censorship, but a question around editorial, because the stories that were highly told by media that there's a censorship were going to be broadcasted. However, what SABC explains to us is that there's scenes where there's a throw of stones, burning down of institution, that area is not going to be broadcasted, but the aftermath of the school being burned down and so forth, that will be broadcasted. We have said in our press statement, we are not entirely happy with that position, but we have now found comfort that there's no censorship at SABC. We need to engage thereafter on the question of editing.
Now, overall, there's a lot of things. I mean, there's journalists that have been suspended and all that. There's a labor movement. What's your take?
Well, first and foremost, even here at SABC, a couple of months ago, there were a number of workers that were dismissed based on the alleged of medical aid fraudulent. We took side, workers came to us, and we took a stance to defend workers. It's a primary responsibility of a trade union movement to defend jobs. It's a primary responsibility of the trade union movement to assist workers. But you do that as elected by those workers to represent them. If they opt not to elect someone else, you're unable to interact with that.
So they haven't?
No, they haven't.
Do you know why?
Well, we wouldn't know. Firstly, we'll assume.
I can tell you.
Why?
They say you're selling out.
Why?
Well, I guess that's a question you need to engage them.
I think I'll disagree with that. I mean, we've made our statement almost 9 days later. So if a person, say you have sold out before you have made a statement, and comes after you have made a statement and argue that based on the statement that you have made, we have sold out, I think that's being narrow, and of course that has been devious.
On the COO?
On the COO, look, we haven't, as opposed to what is publicized and what is spread around, we haven't seen a crisis. An issue here is around the censorship, which I've just explained now, first and foremost, and the suspension of workers and all of that relates to that. Why do you then say there's a crisis when there's a one area where there's different school of thoughts around it, whether it's a censorship or whether it's an editorial matter? It has been taken to ICASA and it's been corrected, and the SABC is opposing it based on the policy and so forth. What's the crisis about that?
Okay. So you are pro-Saudi?
I think it's not a correct statement to make. You'll recall that a month ago, when there was a hearing of Saudi, there was a position that we took around the broadcasting life of that and all of that. We were seen as against Saudi. I think as SCW, first we take a mandate from our members. Two, we take a principled stance. Whether something, a person says this color is blue, even if it's the person against me, if this says this color is blue, it becomes blue. So it's very wrong for anyone to therefore say, because on this instance, we are now saying we are on the side that says there's no censorship, therefore we are pro-Saudi. I think it's a very strong statement, but it's a principle matter. Okay.
Communist Party, you are very clear. You actually want everything to stop. You want the board away, you want Saudi away, you want, what, censorship away, as you call it. Yeah.
No, we don't want everything to stop. We want everything to function properly. The SABC is a public entity. It doesn't belong to individuals who are appointed in the board or its management. It belongs to all South Africans who live in South Africa. There are policies that, in terms of the rule of broadcasting law, you cannot change without following due processes. Now, what happened is that we woke up to the news that there was a policy overhaul at the SABC.
Yes.
And this SABC, by the way, is accountable to the public. As members of the public, we were not consulted about those particular changes. And I must say that the policy adopted by the SABC is similar to the policies adopted by the apartheid regime. The cameras that are used to go and gather data outside there are public cameras. The information gathered by those public workers belongs to the public. We disagree that as the public, to who the SABC belongs, we cannot be trusted with the truth. Why must the truth be only known to a few individuals at the SABC, while the workers and the resources used to gather that truth belongs to all of us?
Roy, you are in Auckland Park, or rather in Campton Park, sorry.
Hi, I'm Mpo.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well, thanks for the call, Roy.
I'm good, man. Mpo, I just want to ask, including you and the two gentlemen. Anyway, Nopala, happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Mpo, I just want to ask, mainly SAPC, you and Aubrey can maybe say something on that. I just want to check, man. There's been this outcry of looking for bureaucrats and educated people in actually acting in some boards. Are we then saying, from the SACP's view, that everything and anything stops there at SAPC because of this one man, Claude Motsoeneng? Is he so powerful that nothing can happen without him? I just want, because I'm starting to not understand now.
Okay.
There is a body there. Is it included everything that has to go without Motsoeneng signing it?
Okay.
Thank you.
Look, let us reaffirm the following. The SABC is not a private organization. All the data gathered here at the SABC by workers who work for the SABC and therefore the public, using the instruments that belong to the public, doesn't belong to any private person. As the public, we have the right to access to that information. No one can say he alone or she alone must have monopoly over that information, and we must be denied that information. That stance was last taken in this country during apartheid rule. This is a developing democracy. This is our information. We have every right and entitlement to it. It has been gathered by workers who are paid by means of public funds. It belongs to all of us. And secondly, Motsoeneng is not the SABC. There is a distinction between the two. It is very important. He plays a particular role as an individual, and that role has got its own problematic features. And it is because of that that we want the role he is playing to be addressed properly, which is why we extended this to the level of the board. Let us give you an example. How many vacancies are there in the board of the SABC, and why are those vacancies not being filled? It doesn't stop and start with Motsoeneng. Why? The SABC has become a Hollywood. Individuals are acting permanently in certain positions. Many people you meet in the country do not even know who the CEO of the SABC is, because CEOs come and go. Is this how an organization that is managing public asset must be run? We are saying no as the SACP.
Hold it there. We've got a call from the Eastern Cape.
Yes.
Temba.
Yes, Pudi.
Yes, go ahead.
No, let's thank you very much for the opportunity. Let's address two things here quickly.
Yes.
One, the SACP. The SACP has now abandoned its mission of transforming media in the country.
Okay.
It is now targeting SABC against its own mission of transforming neoliberal media houses. SACP is not honest, it's not genuine. It is only focusing on SABC because it's scared of 2017. Please, we South Africans have participated in the revolution and we understand the clear mandate of the SACP. Don't bring your smaller nyana issues into SABC. It is no time now for CVs. You are in politics for CVs as a party. You must go back and find your own mission.
Okay.
That's one.
All
Two,
right.
SABC is not about Saudi. Where is the editorial independence in this matter? And if editorial independence is sacred, let the SABC continue in doing what it does. You cannot take any information out there with those cameras and beam it into the public. Please, SACP, understand this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Temba, for the call. Before they even respond, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll be taking your calls, 089-110-4210. This is Question Time.
There is a sign for perfectionism. There's a sign for goosebumps. Something that symbolizes more performance. A sign for a special mindset. There is a sign for everything we stand for. Audi Sport, born on the track. Built for the road. Join the League of Performance.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time, uncensored. Before we continue, let's have a look at this clip by Motsoeneng.
We as SABC, we are not stopping here. If there are issues about ICASA ruling, we are challenging that ruling. So that if we need to go to the Constitutional Court, that is where the matter will end. We are not going to change anything. People should forget. Newspapers, they can come together, right to know everybody. We invite you to do that. We are equal to task.
Okay, that's Claudia Motsoeneng there. My guest today, Alex Mashilo, is from the South African Communist Party, and Aubrey Chabalala is from the Communication Workers Union. Temba, you are in the Western Cape. Temba? We seem to have lost Temba there. The number to dial 0891104210. Temba, are you there in Cape Town? Okay, Temba is not there. Let me allow the union back.
Okay, I think we must just take the discussion a little bit backward. First and foremost, we agree with all the sentiments raised by Comrade Alex from the party. Where we do not agree, it's in the area of apartheid tactics. Let us tell you why. Editorial has always been there. We run press conferences on a daily basis. Yeah. They will choose which slot they want to show on the news. It's always been there. Okay. For example, the latest Euro games now, yes. There was a hooligan who ran into a field. I don't know whether it was undressed or what, but they choose not to show that person. Mm-hmm. And that cannot be tantamount to censorship, but it's a part of editorial. I think we must correct that area first, so that we can be able to discuss and debate the matter on merits, okay. As and when we take the discussion forward. We have said the media, particularly the foreign-owned and white monopoly capital-owned media, here has been hypocrisy, because in their own channels, where they censor news because a person is wearing a toque, is an African accent, it cannot be allowed to come to the news. They don't talk about that.
No, you can say it. It's ENCA.
Yes, and when their own workers are protesting outside, they don't show that. When we've made a statement, they were in our press conference against them, they don't show that. But SABC did when we made a statement against them. So where's censorship in that relation?
Hold it there. Tabiso, you are in Soweto.
Yes, how are you on that tempo?
I'm well in that day.
Yes, I got two things basically here. Okay. I just want to find out, because it's interesting, Mr. Saudi, it's a project of Mr. Blade Nzimande from SACP. I want Alex Mashilo just to respond on that, because apparently the wife of Blade Nzimande was fired by Saudi, apparently there at SABC. That's why he's a special mission. Two, okay. The provincial secretary of the SACP, Mababulo, yes, has actually issued a statement supporting Saudi. So who's fooling who there actually? Thank you.
The party, are you divided?
Definitely we are united. And then let us just start with the Temba, who was the first caller, I think from Eastern Cape. Only the apartheid regime believed that South Africa is South Africa minus communists from 1950 to 1991. Mm-hmm. That's the only time we were banned in this country. To think that the SABC belongs to Temba and others and excluding those who are communists and the working class is completely false, and that idea must be corrected. The SACP is not afraid of 2017. We are going to 2017 and we will exist before 2017. We have been raising these issues. If you look at our Congress resolutions, in 2012 we expressed a concern at our Congress that the SABC was moving from one crisis to another. There was a problem of administrative and governance decay at the SABC, and this was moving non-end. Up to today, that's why we are here. The reason why we are here is not because there are different views between Communication Workers Union and the SABC. It's because there is a crisis here and we are discussing it. And again, to correct him, but we were at ETV, by the way, on Friday, picketing there, raising the issues affecting the workers. There is no single political party in this country that has ever expressed the views and aspirations of the workers at ETV except the South African Communist Party. In addition, took action to go to ETV. He must go and find that political party. We will withdraw our statement. But up to today, no political party has ever taken. And let's address this issue of monopoly capital. By the way, there is a company that was established during colonial oppression in this country called NASPAS, which was the ideological mouthpiece of the apartheid regime. That company, Aubrey, what does it do? It is accumulating money. That is the real monopoly capital. It is accumulating money via the SABC. It is the SACP that has been in the far front, opposing that accumulation from the SABC by a white monopoly capital. Which other political party took that company head on except the SACP?
Cornelius, you are in Welcome.
Yes, Mpo.
Welcome.
Mpo, we are getting such a mixed messages. Firstly, it was Jackson Mthembu, who came up very strong as far as the SABC is concerned, and Saudi Motsoeneng Now the SACP also has voiced up their voices. But now the question is, all this time when Motsoeneng was doing all these things, they were in cahoots with him. And Motsoeneng has made sure that he captured the artist first and captured the ANC. Now he's running like a loose cannon. No one wants to put him to be answerable or to stop him at his tracks. Now, the public protector came out very clear. He said what Motsoeneng is all about and what should be done. Now, he was clever by capturing those two, ANC and the artist, to be on his crawl. Now he's still running like a loose cannon. I want to know from the panelists, from here, where to?
Thank you.
Like Mr. Mthembu was very strong. We want to know exactly what are they going to do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. The union, from here, where to?
Well, from our side, we have met with the minister together with SABC executive. It's an ongoing discussion.
When did you meet?
We've made a press statement the following day. I just can't remember the actual day. So there's ongoing discussion because we believe that we're inside, we must influence inside, we must discuss those issues. But we also have to make a staunch warning to those activists who have business interest in the sector and rise as a voice of reason from time to time.
Who are those?
We'll release a statement around that.
No, it's fine. You can share with us.
No, we'll release a statement when the time is right. But we are just making a staunch warning to those who say they must not come and mislead the public. Where is our interest at this particular time? We want to debate this issue of censorship to the fullest. And when we conclude to that, it must not be applicable to SABC alone. It must, because all the media sectors are governing by the Act, which covers everyone. So therefore, it's a responsibility of every media institution to apply to such, not only public broadcasters.
Where to from here? You are going to march to the SABC and you're going to meet members of MKMVA?
By the way, these scholars who make the statements there, unfortunately, it is out of ignorance or it is out of lack of information. The South African Communist Party marched here. Let me take you back to 21 October 2012. We marched on the problems happening here at the SABC. We have never been working with Hlaudi Motsoeneng to bring about the administrative and governance decay that is destroying our public broadcaster. Never at all. Never. We've never done that. From here, we are continuing. We were at ETV, and I'm still repeating, no other political party has taken the actions we have taken.
So you want Hlaudi to go?
On Friday, we are going to ANN 7. We have a Congress resolution that Hlaudi Motsoeneng was appointed unlawfully. A court of law in this country arrived at a determination that he was appointed illegally. We are saying we are a country governed by the rule of law. They must follow the law. They must implement the law. We don't want a public entity that defies the law.
You want Hlaudi to go?
Hlaudi must follow the law. The court has made a ruling that he was appointed unlawfully. The SABC board must follow the law by taking correct action by removing Hlaudi Motsoeneng.
You want Hlaudi to stay?
We are not going to be personal on issues. We are not going to target individual for one political end to the other. We are here simply to say that those who are saying that there's a crisis at SABC, they must point out, here's the crisis, there's financial crisis, here's the crisis, so that we are able to determine where the problem is.
Okay, that's a political answer. I'm asking now a journalistic question. Do you want Hlaudi to go?
A union cannot come and say we want the executive to go for...
You have done that in the past?
Yes, I'm saying for apparent reason. If we are calling for executive to go, we have reasons for that. For now, we don't have a reason to call for anyone to go at SABC.
So Hlaudi must stay?
Hlaudi must stay.
Thank you.
By the way, just the last point.
We have run out of time.
It is the SABC that called on those who are complaining about that editorial policy to go to ICASA. Now ICASA has spoken.
We have run out of time.
Thank you very much.
But that was question time. Uncensored. Let's meet again tomorrow. Goodbye.